Sarah from The Upcoming. Such a pleasure to meet you. I'm great, thank you. So for people who don't know anything about The Colour Room, maybe you can give us a brief introduction and tell us a bit about your character.
Yeah, so The Colour Room is about the life of Clarice Cliff, and she was this wonderful revolutionary ceramics artist. She came from a working class background, and she designed these really bright and bold sort of saucers and cups and vases, and nobody had been doing that before. And I play a man called Fred Ridgway, who was also working at the factory, and he'd sort of developed sort of a wonderful thing called Oriflamme. It was a glaze for pots and stuff. And so he sees her, recognizes her talent, and just gives her the space to be who she is. And I think she was a fantastic character, brilliantly brought to life by Phoebe Dynevor. So yeah, it was a pleasure to do.
Interesting period drama, not the thing we're used to seeing because it's sort of working class, in different region of the UK. Very female-led and both in front and behind the camera. So what appealed to you about the project?
Well, for me, it was about discovering, shining the light on a life of someone who I consider to be a real genius that had not been told before. I knew her work, but I didn't know her life. I'd made assumptions about her life by seeing her work, which was totally wrong. So it was about, bringing someone into our consciousness that otherwise might have been forgotten. I think specialists know who she was, but I mean, she was extraordinary, not just from an artistic point of view, but from a commercial point of view. So the more I got to discover her, the more I was amazed by her life and how I didn't know about her, So I'm hoping that the film will sort of reintroduce her to a different sort of strata of society, really.
And a fantastic cast, in particular with Phoebe, playing Clarice. So were you a fan of her? I think she's become a household name since Bridgerton. Did you watch it? And what was it like to work with her in a completely different role in this?
I love Bridgerton, yeah. I did watch it and I was a big fan, and I thought it was a game changer as far as TV was concerned. So yeah, but this is a very different character for her, really different. So she's able to show her range here, and she really pulls it off. I thought it was a great performance. She was wonderful to work with. In fact, everybody, we all got on really well. Our conditions were tough because we did it during COVID. Our sets were freezing cold because we had to have sort of air going through, our sets, and all the windows were open. It was the middle of winter. We weren't dressed for winter, so yeah, the conditions were tough, but it was a pleasure to do.
What do you think the importance is of going back and, rediscovering these stories, and in particular having women telling them in a way?
Yeah, I mean, it's really important. I think, this is a woman who otherwise we wouldn't know her genius. Not just from a ceramics point of view, but when she was told, no, nobody wants to buy your stuff, it's not good enough, she just bypassed the middleman and took it straight to the women she knew would buy it. She went to major shops all around the north and set up these buying experiences, these workshops and salons, things that we take for granted today, like pop-up shops. She would do that. She would use celebrity endorsement. Nobody was doing that at the time. So, I mean, I think she's someone to be celebrated, and hopefully this film will go some way to putting her in a different bracket of fame and respect, I think.
I saw that the BFI had called you one of Britain's most versatile actors. So, how do you choose your roles, and what might you be working on next you can tell us about?
So I've just been doing a thing called Sherwood, which is written by James Graham, who wrote Queers and is one of our great writers. He wrote the Dominic Cumming thing that came out a couple of years ago about Brexit. And he's a wonderful writer, and it's sort of set around a town in Nottinghamshire. It's based on a true story, and it's myself and Leslie Manville, so that's coming out next. How I choose my roles, I don't know. I look at it and I fancy it, I fancy doing it, so that's it, really.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for your time. Lovely to speak to you. Thank you.